Hey, family. So I gave you a riddle yesterday, and I said, if the Sabbath or Shabbat is not on Sunday and it's not on Saturday, then when is it? And many of you said, well, then is it Friday at dusk and until Saturday at dusk? Is that when the Sabbath is? Well, the truth is, none of that's correct. The Sabbath does not fall on a day of the week. I know that sounds crazy, but in the olden days, back when the people who are in the Bible were actually walking on the earth, they were not following the same calendar that we follow. The calendar that we follow is the Gregorian calendar, and it's based on the sun. It's based on how many times the earth travels around the sun in 365 days is what we follow, right? But the actual calendar that they followed was based on the moon. And so the Sabbath is actually the 7 days after the new moon, and then every 7 days after that is the Sabbath. I know that sounds crazy, right? So there was no way that we would ever be able to honor the Sabbath because they hid it from us. And that was a part of the master plan. Everything that Yahuwah created, they created a complete counterfeit for us to follow that will cause us to violate his laws, violate his plans, violate everything about what he called for us to do. And that's why so many times in the word, he tells us to observe his laws. Don't forget his laws. Don't forget his name. And that's why honoring the Sabbath was one of the commands. It's one of the commands. And guess what? If we don't know that we're not to be following the sun's rotation, but following the moon, we'll never find the Sabbath. You'll never be able to honor it. And so the way that it works is the moon will go through its cycles. Oh, let me just throw this bit at you too. The woman's body follows the rotation of the moon. When we have our cycles monthly, ladies, it follows the cycle of the moon. The moon shows up every 28 days. Or let me change that. The moon completes this cycle every 28 days. Likewise, our bodies flow in that same rhythm, and it was intentional. And nowadays, because we have so many lights and so much has kind of disrupted our circadian rhythm, we don't follow, our bodies don't align. But we all notice that when we're with a bunch of girlfriends together and we spend a lot of time with those women, we kind of sync up. I know y'all men don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. It's not that we sync up to each other. Together, our power connects us to the cycles of the moon, and we sync up with the moon. How powerful is that? Most of us don't realize that. But anyway, so getting back to the calendar, the original calendar follows the moon. And so the way that you know when the Sabbath is when the moon completes its cycle, it goes completely dark. When it has that first sliver of light again, that's called the new moon. From that day, you want to count 7 days. That's the Sabbath. And then 7 days after that is the Sabbath. And it follows every 7 days. And then when you get the new moon again, you start counting, and then you'll have your Sabbath. So they intentionally meant for us to violate the laws of Yahuwah. They wanted us to not be in alignment with him. That's why they changed the commands, and we'll do another video on that. But there's so much more to this deception. It's big, y'all. It's bigger than we can imagine. And it was intentional because you have so much power. Yahuwah puts so much on the inside of you. In that being, that temple that he calls you, he puts so much in it, in you, that they wanted to dismantle that power. There's no way they can keep control over you if you know his name. He said you would do greater works in his name, right? And so we got to know the calendar. We have to know when the Sabbath is, and we have to learn how to align with it. Okay, so last week I put a post up that said, Happy New Year. Why did I do that? Because last week was the beginning of the brand new year. It was actually the new year changed over. I want to call it the lunar new year, but I haven't double checked that. So don't quote me on it. But it was the final time for the year to end. And the year doesn't end in the wintertime when everything is dead. The year ends as the winter changes to spring when life begins again. Doesn't that make sense? That's how he created it. Right? You're trying to create all these New Year's resolutions in the dead of winter and wonder why you can't keep it because it's the dead of winter. Everything's dead. You're still hibernating. Everything is still in the ground, restructuring, getting ready to break forth in the spring. So, where was I going with that, Father? Bring it back to me. So, the new year started last week. And to get this past Sunday just happened to fall on a Sunday. Most days, most Sabbaths don't fall on a Sunday. They actually fall on multiple days throughout the week based on when the moon changes. And so we get to know the calendar now. This is a very important piece of it. Um, and I guess I need to do another video on that. I think I'll do that. I'm just going to let it rest right here. If you have any questions about the moon, the calendar, and the Sabbath, then, or Shabbat is what it's actually called, Shabbat, then leave them in the comments. All right. Y'all take good care, be empowered, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm Queenie. Go to truthbookmarks.com, download your truth bookmarks. Um, it's a listing of all of the ancient names, and it's something I printed out. There's two different sets. There's a color set, and then there's also a set that's in black and white to make it easier for you to print. But this is going to show you the ancient names, and you can actually see the names and how Yahuwah's name is in their name. So, like Matthew, his real name is Matiti Yahu. John, his real name is Yahu Hanan. Um, let's see. Jacob's last real name is Yaakov. Let me see. The tribe of Judah. It's Yahuda. Everything that we believe and have known to be real and true has in some way been twisted to disempower us, and we get to reconnect to our power. And so download your truth scriptures, or pardon me, your truth bookmark, and I'm going to share this with you too. This is the truth scriptures, y'all. This is the most accurate translation of the Bible that exists. This is the Berit Hadash, which is the New Testament. It was retranslated last year from the original scrolls. And they're currently, the organization is called Promote the Truth. You can go to promotethetruth.com, and they have all the scriptures to support everything that I'm saying and I'm sharing. Um, and more. They have so much more. They'll talk to you about the calendar. You can even print out the calendar and see when the new moons are, when the Sabbaths are, all of that. You'll be able to find it there. But what's most important is they are still in the process of translating the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament. And it is going to blow your hair all the way back. I know I say that a lot, but oh, where did my stuff go? Darn it. Oh my goodness. Now I gotta jump over and get my bookmark. Anyway. Um, they're translating the Old Testament right now, and it should be finished by the end of spring. So get involved. If you go to their website, you can learn more about it, but also on YouTube, they're translating it in real time. You can actually walk through the scriptures with them as they reveal to you some of the changes, and you can see blaringly obvious deceptions in the word. And all you got to do is look at it. It's in plain sight. They meant to deceive us. They meant to